they look at a school as if it's just, hey, welcome to Bogy and Dave. I'm your co-host, Dave, joined by the great and wonderful Mr. GQ. Look at the way you're dressed today. Why didn't you tell me today was dress-up day?
Well, listen.
What is this, bring your tie to work day
This
or
is
something?
the Bogy and Dave tie day, and you frickin' blew it.
I must have missed the
What the
memorandum.
hell is wrong with you?
You know what, Cody didn't send me the memorandum on the tie pot.
Oh, you blame Cody. Here we go.
Well, you know why? Cody doesn't trust me with a tie.
Blame the producer.
He doesn't trust me with a tie in my
Blame the
hand.
producer like Obama is blaming who?
Listen.
CIA?
Listen.
He didn't order anything.
He didn't know what happened.
He didn't order
anything. The guy
anything.
didn't know what happened. He
the
didn't
guy
know.
just sees everything on TV.
Yeah, or you just read it in the paper when you read it.
He ordered no wiretaps.
Nothing.
He did not order anything the CIA did that came out in the WikiLeaks dump.
And Lynch and Clinton on the airplane, that was bad optics.
Yeah, that was just bad optics.
That was the optical.
You were seeing things.
Optics in the lens there was bad.
The sun was
and
shining
a week later,
wrong.
when she contacted, she wanted that FISA warrant.
You mean UFO contact?
That 1 week later after that, that was a coincidence.
Total coincidence.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? And these crashes and these people that have been getting killed left and right, tied to the Clintons, that's all just coincidental.
Coincidental. Like the LA Times reporter who just accidentally crashed his car into a tree and it blew up.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then, it's not that the CIA...
That's coincidence. CIA can't do that to a car.
Absolutely not. No.
They cannot hack a computer of a car, can they?
Julius Assange was held up in high esteem by the left for so many years, and now all of a sudden when he's saying, oh, and by the way, you're complicit too, they don't like it.
So all along, they're blaming the Russians trying to set up Trump. And guess who's been doing the hacking all along? Our own United States intelligence.
That's right.
They are behind all of this.
So anything
dirty.
Isn't it strange how everything Trump
They think they're so bad, They think they're so bad.
Every single thing he said, unfortunately, and it's sad, has come to fruition.
Yes.
And the one thing that the Democrats, they kept wishing, and they had that investigation going. And like the great Shakespeare said, be careful what you wish for, because guess what, folks? Now we are going to have an investigation, and we're going to see exactly where it leads. And all of this stuff right here is all treasonous, and you could find yourself on the other side of the bars.
What have you and I been saying all along?
Yeah,
Obama is a traitor.
Yeah.
He is treasonous.
He is the worst thing that's ever happened in this country.
The guy belongs in jail. His cabinet belongs in jail. There are members of the intelligence community who are traitors, they're turncoats, they belong in jail. I've had it. And the Obama said he was livid before the WikiLeaks dump 2 days ago. Obama is livid that Trump would accuse him of a wiretap. Yeah. And then the WikiLeaks dump comes out. And the dirty plays and tactics that are committed by our intelligence community while Americans go about their days.
Why would they do that?
It all happened under Obama. It all happened under Obama.
Why would they do that? Why would they be spying on the American people? Why would they be pulling this stuff?
Control.
But the whole point is, not with our Constitution, but the law. The law states that the CIA cannot work within the confines of the United States. They cannot operate. That's for the counterintelligence of the FBI. And here they are.
Obama had no regard for the Constitution.
He didn't give a shit. Here's a photograph of him, and it's doctored up, of him with torching the Constitution. That's exactly what he did. No matter what these ideologues out there, you want to keep protecting him and the Clintons, you go right ahead.
Go ahead.
Because our country has been trashed and gone to hell right in the
How come CNN hasn't talked about the WikiLeaks dump?
No, CNN is hiding. And
hold on. But and Facebook is all about, they're going after all the fake news things, aren't they?
Well,
right? They call Drudge fake news, right? But then they copy the Drudge Report website. They copied it, okay? And then they don't report on Julius Assange's real emails and real things that are revealed that our intelligence community is doing to the American people. That must be fake news too, right? It's only real news if they say it's real news.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you what you should believe.
Yeah.
That's the good old liberal way, the good old progressive way. We'll tell you what to believe in.
And Anderson Cooper is so fair and balanced, right, that he's on one of the talk shows there. I forgot the name of the number one show now. Stephen Colbert. And Anderson Cooper actually says, I put Trump on mute. What do you mean, Trump? What do you mean? Well, I can't delete him from my Twitter account because then he'll see that. So I don't need the negativity in my life. So I put him on mute. That is a fair and balanced journalist talking. Yeah. That is an impartial journalist for CNN talking.
You know that Anderson Cooper's a snowflake.
Yeah, they all are.
You know, and he's somebody that comes from a very wealthy background. So he can say whatever he wants to say, lose his job, whatever. It doesn't matter because that little snowflake's got plenty of money backing him up. He comes from wealth, big, big dollars. Now, you talk about CNN, which has been losing and plummeting. You see what happened to our boys over at ESPN? They're hemorrhaging 1 million people a month.
They should be.
A month. Because they decided they wanted to take a liberal point of view and feed that right into their commentators' sports. Which the people that watch sports, that's the last thing I want to hear. Yeah. Like that idiot.
Politically correct crap. Yeah. That's what they've become. I have a quiz for you.
Yes.
Where did the term snowflake come from?
That's it. Well, originally or whatever. I mean, originally it's the term used for, snow and here's a snowflake and, years ago. But the term now is...
Did you just hear how Dave just tried to explain that? Here's snow and here's a snowflake.
I mean... Here comes this.
Where did that come from?
Here comes snowflake.
Where did pants come from? Well, here's a leg and here's a pant. No.
Where did snowflake come? Where did term come from?
That term snowflake came from Fight Club. The movie Fight Club.
With Brad Pitt and...
Yep. I forgot the name of the writer.
What term? What was it used?
Chuck Pasternak or something wrote it. I forgot his name. His last name. It's in actually the narrative in the movie, the portion of the movie where it's like an introduction.
The beginning.
I think so. Either that or it's introducing what's going on at the house. So it's voiceover. And they mention snowflakes. And they're talking about how the snowflake, and it's
they mentioned
really amazing.
In terms of like little...
the same way they're being coined and portrayed today in the liberal... spoiled liberals.
Wonderful colleges that employ these asses that we have for professors that want to poison the kids' minds ought to all be fired. They ought to all be fired. You know what? You're here to teach science. You're here to teach English. Shut your mouth about politics.
Right. You're absolutely right about that. And to dovetail...
Unless you're in a poli-sci class.
To dovetail off that, though, now that the WikiLeaks dump has happened, and a lot of the liberal mainstream media, again, it's like so... proven now that they're in the tank for the left, right? Yeah. They're all in the tank. Now that they're not even talking about it either. None of the WikiLeaks emails reporting what the CIA does behind the scenes to the American people under Obama, what they did and what they continue to do. Now that it's not reported, right? Does that not bring us back full circle to the question, is it really about Trump? In other words, here we are with Trump as president. We have people going after him left and right. We have the intelligence community. They want, Monica Crowley said on Fox News, and again, I don't watch Fox News either. I watch clips. Mm-hmm. Okay, I saw this clip. It looked really interesting. I played it. Monica Crowley on Fox News said, the way they politically assassinated me and Flynn, that was just a play. They wanted to see how it was going to, it was a rehearsal for how they want to go after Trump. And however, she said, they want him in jail. So the American people, they should be alarmed over this because we have our intelligence community trying to overthrow the voice of the people, trying to usurp the Constitution, which is about the voice of the people. Okay? We have our entire intelligence community compromised, filled. I'm not sure how many, perhaps half turncoats, half traitors, maybe that much.
John Brennan? He ought to be in jail for what he's allowed to happen.
I'm going to say Obama is the one who needs to be in jail.
Absolutely.
I'm going to say Holder needs to be in jail.
And Lynch.
Valerie Jarrett needs to be in jail. Yeah. Geithner needs to be in jail because if we ever evaded our taxes the way he did with his, we'd be in jail. The American people ought to be furious over this.
Well, you know, here's the thing.
Including liberals. My point is, Dave, it doesn't matter liberals or conservatives. Everybody, the American people, doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on, ought to be alarmed at and over this.
Ought to be outraged because, folks, if the left was able to do this today, and the media was able to do it. The only thing that separates the media from being really fair and honest is the fact that they're still making money, being the rags that the New York Times is and the Washington Post is. Once they start losing money and they get pressured by the public to, like they did with Kellogg's and like they did with, what is the store there, Target, okay, over the LGBT. You know, once that starts hitting, all of a sudden those newspapers are going to flip. And when they flip, they'll flip right on anybody. Because let me tell you, a journalist, newspaper people, they have no heart whatsoever. They don't care. They're going to go wherever the money takes them or wherever their editorials take them. So if the editorials decide one day, you know what, we're done with being a left media. We're going to go after the left. And guess what? You're going to be sitting in that same position that you find the right sitting in right now. The conservatives.
Would you say so? So let me ask you: would you say that the mainstream press is fulfilling their duty?
Hell no.
Okay, as journalists. Okay.
Hell no.
Okay. So. What is the...
And you have more sensitivity to press than I do.
What is the old quote? If you witness evil and do nothing,
then
you are just as evil.
Well, I just saw that on a post that to allow evil to prevail is you're just as guilty for allowing it to happen, not doing anything about it, okay? And the real hardcore left, they're going to scratch and scream and try to justify everything. To that point, when all of this other stuff has been disproven about the Russians, everything, what do you think I get as an email today from one of my progressive friends? He sends me the quote that allegedly, and I say allegedly because I have never heard it, that Trump said to Billy Bush on that airplane about that locker room comment about women. So all of a sudden now, I wrote back and I said, this is what you want to send me? You, in spite of everything that's happening, this is what you want to send me?
You should ask him if he's ever watched porn.
I mean, seriously. I told him, 80% of the senators and congressmen right now, I'll bet you 80% of them have made a comment like that or worse about women.
Dave,
and women
we've talked
have
about
made
this
just
before.
as rotten a comment or racist a comment about men.
Trump was not a politician then. He wasn't even
Never.
He wasn't even thinking about running then. This is more than 10 years ago. And lastly, okay, the porn industry is $1 billion industry. We have government workers watching porn. We have corporate,
on our dime.
We have corporate American workers watching porn on corporate time.
Right.
Okay? And all these hypocrites, okay? You have the females who went to the female protest wearing vaginas on their heads.
And what did that...
So what? If I look and say, oh my God, there's a P-U-S-S...
What a disgusting remark.
Would that make me bad?
What a disgusting remark Kate Blanchett made about her moral compass is in her vagina. Did you hear about that? Yeah, she made that comment, that my moral compass is in my vagina. I mean, that's so disgusting that you have to wonder, and these are people that we actually pay money to go see? And you know, we both love movies, okay? And you know, and you're a screenwriter, and you're a writer, and I'd like to be a writer, but I've never got... So to have somebody say something like that is just like, seriously, that's the woman... That's a comment from a woman you want to make on a day that you want to hold them in high esteem, but the woman workers, that your moral compass is in your vagina. Wow.
You know what, Dave?
We've reached
witnessing the degradation and downfall of our society for the last 5 years. And you look at areas like opiates, like, you know, our senators are not policing properly, the FDA. They keep releasing these opiates that are highly addictive, that are ruining thousands of lives, including the lives of their loved ones. You have the moral degradation that we're seeing in schools, where kids in elementary school in 3rd, 4th grade are now saying the P word.
Yeah.
They're talking about sex regularly. They've lost their innocence. They're easily corrupted. We have technology that is also corrupting minds because it is going so fast that we are making equal steps toward chaos as we are toward technology. Where is this leading us? To a huge, huge, huge coming storm. And I do think that, again, we're this close from a multi-pronged downfall in our American society. And we will be able to blame no one but our government, our politicians,
and
ourselves to an extent for what
we've
even
elected
happened.
these people.
But hold on, though. For the last 20 years, though, we have no control. We've had no control. Our politicians who were elected officials and whom the people trusted have let the American people down. We are so drugged up now. Everything's about how I feel instead of having the discipline to just go out and get things done.
They've taken the male in society and totally marginalized the male completely.
Yeah, it's like they've castrated them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad.
There is something inherently different between, and if they don't understand this, then you really are in a zone I can't even. But there is inherently something different between man and woman, and they want to erase that line.
Yeah.
And it just can't be erased. There are things that a woman can do that a man can't, and vice versa. But they want to make it so that there's no difference between the sexes. Well, there is. There's physiologically, psychologically, there's a lot of differences. And that should be so. I mean, that's the attraction.
There are senators who have since retired who in the past warned the American people, and they warned their fellow congressmen and women. Be careful about expanding government so much and giving so many powers to the intelligence community that deep state becomes so deep that we can't even find them.
I always thought...
Now, well, hold on, though. Time out, though, for a second. We are in a very dark place with our intelligence community right now. The intelligence community needs to understand they may have technology behind them. They may have, for the moment, civility behind them. But let me remind them they are outnumbered when it comes to the American people and the militias that exist in this country. If they think they're untouchable and invincible, they better think very, very hard. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next month or even next year, Dave. But eventually, whether in this life or the next, it's coming. It's coming.
And more important than anything else is that we retained and we had the NRA fight to make sure that our Second Amendment was not taken away.
Right.
Because now more than ever, you can see where your own government, it's like that old adage, I've seen the enemy and the enemy is me. And that's exactly what we're seeing is our own intelligence. And Trump warned about this. He said it. When he said, we got a lot of shame on our side. When he was talking about
Kennedy warned about it in his last speech before he was killed. This is why I keep telling you, he may have started off with a lot of criticism, okay, directed at him and because of some of his actions. But I promise you, he had an awakening moment before he died. I'm telling you, his last speech, the American people ought to listen to it. He warned about the powers behind the curtain and trying to undermine everything. This goes back, and let me say this to you. This goes full circle to all the conversations we've had on this show. George Bush Sr. is a very big shadow in everything we're talking about.
What you're saying
he
is
was with the CIA.
He casts a very long shadow that goes back to Kennedy.
He's part of all of this that we're seeing now with the intelligence community and what they're doing. This goes all the way back through George Bush Sr. And it's not good.
Well, you know what I found more scary than interesting was George W. Bush, right? The second. He's made comments lately that really caused me to wonder and say, why is he talking about something like this? Why did he of all people, why did he defend the press the way he did on a recent interview? Because he was more contentious with the press than almost as much as Trump was.
Suddenly the left loves him.
Yeah, because he's coming. Why?
Because he's a globalist. Because the mask has come off.
Yeah.
He's a globalist.
Right.
And globalism is dying a slow death and being pushed out to sea. And the intelligence community and Barack Obama and Merkel are trying to save it. Okay, that's what's going on here. Okay, they want to control us. And you have the Pope, again, injecting himself in this, saying populism is the devil or evil.
Yeah.
One of those two things he said. Really? Populism is really the devil and is evil? Excuse me, but populism made America what it is today.
I don't trust this Pope.
Oh,
as
excuse me,
far
not
as,
today. What it was back in what? up until 1960s.
I don't trust this Pope as far as I can throw him because he reminds me of the Pope during World War II.
He's a snake.
And I forgot who that Pope was. I think it was Pope Pius or he was the one that actually stood by and watched millions of Jews get killed, and he wouldn't even help them. Wouldn't even reach out.
And for those Christian Catholics who may watch this show and say, "Oh my God, he just called the Pope a snake." Guess what?
Yep.
It's prophesized.
He showed his colors in Cuba when he refused to meet with the dissidents for mass. All they wanted
That's right.
was to, and he refused to.
He's all about freedom and pin life, isn't he?
Yeah.
No, he's not. But it's been prophesized that we would have a Pope who would be a turncoat like no other, and he would be the last Pope.
Well,
and are we seeing him now? Time will tell.
That's right.
Time will tell. But there's a lot of stuff going on right now. Again, any given moment, cherish each moment you have. I say this to our vast audience out there because you don't know how many tomorrows we really do have left when you see the moral degradation, ethical degradation, corruption, evil that is going on now in this country, in our intelligence community.
I don't know if you see it as much at the level that you're teaching compared to the level that I've seen. But I can tell you this, I function in the elementary level now and then, but more there than any other. And I'm seeing a generation coming up that's completely lost. And it's not that these kids are bad, but some of these kids are really evil. And it's sad to say, but they are.
They have no conscience
for human life, do they?
They
have no conscience for anything. Talk about a moral compass. It's not even remotely existing with some of these kids.
You saw The Time Machine.
Yes.
Right? The 1960s version.
Yes.
With Rod Taylor.
Rod Taylor,
okay.
Yeah. What
do
did
you remember?
The book he brought back?
Well, even more. Do you remember when he went forward and there was a girl drowning? Remember that?
Yes.
In the river.
Yeah.
And everyone just watching her drown. They're literally with blank stares just watching. Because they lost the sanctity for human life. They lost education. They lost meaning. And that's H.G. Wells. And the thing is that we're headed there. We're headed there with technology.
We were headed down that path years ago when Roe v. Wade came about. Now, I understand that exists maybe for some reasons. But what it turned out to be later on was a real butchering of life to which it's unimaginable. But, we're made that's a woman's right. Well, I don't know. I could get into an argument about that all day long about whether it's a woman's right or whose right it is. But look at what's happened with that. That was taken to the umpteenth degree.
You're right. It has been blown out of proportion. Well, but the thing is
children.
My take on it is with abortion. Look,
I really don't want. I hate to go there, but you know what?
I'm just going to say this and stop. We're all on our own journey. It's a woman's body. Whatever she does or doesn't do, we're all going to meet our makers. And there's going to be a reckoning. So whether it's pro or con, that's why I can't stand it that it's a political issue every single election cycle. It's like, you know what? Let's just get the economy roaring, make people happy, and let people do with their lives whatever they want. And there are laws to follow. You break them, there's going to be consequences. There are laws with each individual's maker, whatever you deem your maker to be, God, Allah, Yahweh, whatever you want to call it. You're going to have to face that. That's up to you. That's your journey. You're going to pay that price one day, whether it be this life or the next. Because our lives, Dave, we have balance sheets. Okay, and it's like a checkbook. You carry it from one life to the next. And if you have things that you need to pay back because of the wrongs you've done to people or others, believe me, that's karma. It's going to come back to hit you in the butt harder than you would ever believe. And to those people who do harm and they also commit evil, atrocities, and they're corrupt towards each other, I got to tell you something. If you think this life is long, I swear I know this like I know my name. If you think this life is long, wait till you see the next three. And to pay back karma then, no, I don't want to.
Well, the issue that you bring up, well, this is my body, okay? Now, to that end, I know that if I do certain things because of my health, that I will pay a severe price, okay, because of the way I was built, all right? And one of those things is I cannot eat meat. Just can't do it because I have issues. So if you know that you are not ready to have a baby, then you take all the precautions in the world not to have a baby.
Right.
I mean, today it's,
Right.
the technology is there to make sure you don't make that mistake.
Sure.
But when the mistake is made, I don't know. I just can't. I think that what's happened is, you know, I see it in every TV show. I see it in every movie. I see it in books. You see it in games. That we have desensitized everything right down to just life is gone.
I agree
I
with
mean,
that.
the respect for life is gone at
I
every
agree.
single level.
I
you know?
agree.
So to that end, I just shake my head and say, like there's going to be a reckoning, and that reckoning is going to be.
I think
And
it's
I think
upon
people
us.
have to reckon within themselves before they even hit that stage.
That's
you know?
where I was going. Exactly.
Yeah, and,
exactly.
And that reckoning is something you have to live with.
That's where I was going with what I was saying. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And I didn't say that. That's exactly what I meant.
Yeah.
It's going to come from within. And you know, there's nothing more painful than having a guilty conscience or feeling just pain within yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Both of us came from Middle Eastern backgrounds, okay? And I when I met your mother, she reminded me of my aunts, you know, very outspoken.
And she thought you were far more handsome in person.
Yes, which I gotta thank her for that, because usually people say, Jesus, you look like hell in person. So she reminded me of my aunts that brought me up, and they just instilled in us, you, me, whatever, a certain compass, a certain morality that, you know, it's gone. I think it's gone because they took the time to be the moms that is missing today.
Every great civilization, you and I both know, if what we're saying is true, if it is correct, every great civilization before ours, when they lost their moral compass, there were only hours left after that. In other words, like I said, man, at any hour, any given day, that's it. Poof.
I'm a little bit older than you, and
Sodom and Gomorrah.
I'm burying a lot of my contemporaries, and we were talking about this at the last men's baseball meeting, you know, that we had in the league, and I said the time has come to put all of these political issues. I'm talking about political issues within the baseball organization aside and let it go, because we're running short, and we're burying the guys that we played ball with a few years ago, and it's sad. We got to start thinking about today. Anyways, we're running out of time. Thanks for watching. And
You're going to Florida.
I'm heading to Florida. We're going to be missing our next show. We're going to head to Florida. So this show will air twice, and then I'll be back in time for the next one. Hey, thanks for watching.
Thank you.
And question authority all the time. It's going on. We're losing and losing more and more of our rights under the last regime. And I think this guy is trying his best. Give him a chance. Work with him. Thanks for watching. Yeah, that's